Junior doctors in England are going on strike. They're demanding better pay because the pay of junior doctors has been eroded by over 26% over the past 15 years. But what is a junior doctor pay? In this video, I'm going to be showing you my actual pay slip and show you exactly what is this pay that we're complaining about. So first of all, the term junior doctor is really misleading. I found it really strange, and when I first came to the UK, because in other countries the junior doctor thing is not really there. It didn't really exist like junior doctor, especially the way it's used here. So junior doctor in the UK means any doctor who is not yet a consultant, but that just means that it covers so many people. So from once you finish medical school, then you're called an FY1 up to as much as 10 years experience. So for instance, pediatrics training is about 8 years, psychiatry training, which I do, is about 6 years, but even in your 6th year of training, you will still be called a junior doctor. So that just goes to show you that it's extremely varied, and it doesn't mean that you're very junior. So it's like, it's a term that was introduced, I think, kind of lower the perceived importance of your role. And by the time you go to see hospital, most of the doctors you're going to see are supposed junior doctors. And I think we do a huge part of the doctor load in the NHS, obviously under supervision, but you get what I mean. So personally, I am a CT2 in psychiatry. That just means that I am in my 2nd year of training to become a consultant psychiatrist. But I do consider myself a psychiatrist already because I'm only working in psychiatry. I keep going in different positions, but it's all in psychiatry. And similarly, CT2 in pediatrics would also only be seeing the kids. So that's what it means. I am on the 2016 contract personally. So there are different contracts, and people who have contracts before 2016, that will be different pay scales. So in 2016, the junior doctor's contract was done. That's with the British Medical Association. There was an agreement, and so we are all on the same salary. So it doesn't matter which part of the country you're in. If you're a CT1 or a CT2, it doesn't matter in what specialty, you're all pretty much having the same pay. I made a full video in which I talked about the different salary scales and also the different levels of doctors and the different titles, which I will link up here, so you can go watch it if you're interested. I'm a CT2, but I have a few years work experience. I did graduate in 2015 in Uganda, and then I did my internship or FY1 equivalent over there. I then worked after that for 1 year. I came to the UK. I took 1 year out of training or of like doctor life to do an MSc. That's a Master's of Science in Global Mental Health. And then I did 1 year of a non-training job. I worked in psychiatry, I worked in acute medicine. Well, then I started my core training in psychiatry. I'm a CT2, but I have 3 months left to start my CT3 year, although I'm currently on maternity leave. That's why I'm kind of on pause. And then after that, I will then apply again for higher training. That will be 3 further years. And then I'll be a consultant. So as I am currently in maternity leave, my pay slip is very different. If you want to see my actual maternity pay slip, then comment below. But for now, I'm going to show you a pay slip that I had before going off on maternity leave. So I went on maternity leave in October. Here it is. The first thing is the assignment number, which obviously I've blurred out, but basically that's my assignment number. I have 2 of them, so if I do locum shifts, then that will be a different pay slip. So for me, in my trust, that's how it is. But for some other people, it's the same pay slip. So for me, I have 2. Then obviously my employee name, which is my name. Then the location, which is the last place that I worked, goes right here. Next is the department, and then the job title. So my job title is CT2, Specialty Registrar, Core Training. And then my pay scale is a specialty registrar, CT2, which stands for core training. Obviously the NHS logo. Then that is the wage or the salary. So that is the annual amount. And the reason that amount is really because at this point in training, I had stopped doing on calls and my salary was kind of frozen in some way. I'm not sure why they put that amount, but ideally it's actually about roughly around 50k per year. But anyway, that was that. And then standard hours is 40 hours. So that means my regular hours is 40 hours. So for me at this point, because actually I was on sick leave, so I wasn't doing on calls, and I think that's why they wrote standard hours as 40. But that's because I'm full-time anyway. Because I'm full-time, I have 40 hours. So if you're less than full-time, say 80%, then there will be less hours in a week. The actual hours I actually work is usually 48 hours on average on an on-call week. And then the tax office name, which is where all this comes from. And then tax reference number, the tax code, and finally the NI number. So my national insurance number. And then the tax code that I have is 1438M. And this QMUL, I don't know how to pronounce it, but basically if you see those letters, usually there's something wrong with your tax like maybe you're paying too much or you're paying too little, like there's a problem. And I did have some issues, so it should not be there. But anyway, that's what that means. Come down to the description of the breakdown. Well, first of all, I'll just show you. I think you might want to know what is the actual net pay. If you're looking for that, the net pay here is £3,276.29 for that particular month. So that was the month of August actually. Let's go back to the breakdown. So in terms of breakdown, the basic pay is £173.81, but the rate is £19. So basically per hour I am paid £19 per hour. Where the concern is that our hourly rate is only £19. So for me personally, as a CT2, it's £19. But I believe for a FY1 who is a doctor that's just graduated, it's £14 per hour. And like when you look at the hourly rate of other professions or other people, cleaners charge maybe £20 per hour minimum. In fact, for me in my area, it's like £25. So obviously the cleaner is not paying tax. This is amount that they're earning before they've paid taxes and maybe without deductions. And then also there's an argument that these other people, like drivers and maybe in the shops, like sometimes they don't have as many other benefits as we do. But still, I still think it's quite low and would like our pay to be restored. So anyway, moving on. The next bit is additional rostered hours. So this would be how many extra hours I've done in terms of the particular month, how many hours did I work, like how many nights and on calls and weekends and all that. So anyway, additional rostered hours stands for that. So for me, I was actually on sick leave, but you still get paid anyway as though you were. I had stopped doing on-calls because I was pregnant. So again, you still get paid as though you were. So basically, I had the same pay slip constantly for a few months until I started maternity leave. And it's so cool in that regard. This is where it varies. So every month will be different depending on how many hours you've worked. The next bit is flex pay psych core. So this bit means that I get extra money because I work in psychiatry. There's other professions as well who get this extra money. It's around, so for us, it's around 20k that you get over the period of 3 years. So at the end of the day, every month it's around £309. That if I wasn't doing psychiatry and I was doing like maybe surgery or obs and gynae, the money wouldn't be there. So do consider that if you're going to work in these other professions. And also if you're working in psychiatry, you can also consider that. Then the next bit is night duty, which is 37%. That's the amount, £63 at a rate of £23 per hour. So that's why night duty is paid at a higher rate. Then you get that money in the end, which is £453. And finally, the weekend, which is whereby if you work a weekend, then obviously you're going to be paid extra money for that. And 1 in 5 to 1 in 6 means that the weekends I work are 1 in 5 to 1 in 6 weekends. So that means that if you count 5 weekends, I'm going to work only 1. So if a certain month has 5 weekends, that's only 1. Or otherwise, it's like in 2 months, you work maybe 1 weekend on average, 1 to 2 weekends on average. So that's what that means there. When we come down here, then there is the gross pay. So the taxable pay total is £4,335, and then the total deductions have been £1,370. The pay as you earn, which is the tax that's taken off, £600 for this particular month. National insurance contributions, £400, and then NHS pensions, which is £300 because I do pay into the NHS pension. So if you opt out of that, then you by the way would not get £300 because then they would tax that bit and then you get even less, to be like maybe £200 or something if you decide to opt out of that. And then at the bottom here, I have my annual, so at the end of it is basically for the whole year, the gross pay up to that point, the NI pay up to that point, and yeah guys, and period end date, which was August, so that was for the month of August. And yeah, if you like this video up to this point, please give it a thumbs up. And is this money enough? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to know what I really think about my thoughts on if this money isn't enough, if we should be striking and all that, then watch this video next.